Welcome to the US Eagle Claw YouTube channel. The epic progress of the Ukrainian heroes continues from where it left off in the 9th month of the war. Zelensky's brave army put a lot of pressure against Russian troops, especially from October. Operations of the Kiev army in the eastern and southern regions of Ukraine began to become more frequent, while the Russian forces' lack of ammunition continued to create problems for the counterattack. The Ukrainians took advantage of this situation and took back many occupied cities. Ukrainian warriors who have become stars on the war fronts are still continuing their attacks against Russian troops thanks to the weapon systems and other military equipment provided by the USA and the West. While the Russian army inventory is coming to the point of exhaustion day by day, the Ukrainian heroes are getting stronger thanks to this equipment. In particular, military equipment such as the US-made HIMARS long-range missiles and NASAMS air defense systems play a very important role in the historical achievements of the Kiev army. The HIMARS missile system, which had a great impact on the latest striking victory of Ukrainian army, enabled the Kiev army to take back a very important city like Kherson. As a result of this victory, the Russians suffered a heavy blow on the battlefield. Russian leader Vladimir Putin has never been so humiliated since February 24. Finally, another shocking detail emerged in the Kherson region where operations continue. According to General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the heroes of Kyiv blew up a Russian base in the Kherson Oblast, where there were 500 soldiers. This striking development created an event on the world agenda, because everyone was curious about what was going on in Kherson at the moment and was concentrating their attention in this region to be aware of the process. In Kherson, one of the most critical areas of the war, it was confirmed that the Ukrainian Defense Forces targeted an area where the invaders were concentrated. In the Dnipro residential area, a high-precision airstrike was carried out on a building with about 500 occupiers. The MiG-29 and Su-27 jets of the Ukrainian Air Force with both AGM-88s and high-precision missiles destroyed the main headquarters of the Russian army in the region. It was reported that hundreds of Russian soldiers died as a result of the attacks. The Moscow administration accelerated the process of evacuating its troops from this region after this incident. The city of Kherson, the administrative center of the southern Ukrainian region of the same name, was the city's first major victory of the invading Russian forces in March. In addition, the Kherson region, along with Donetsk, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia, was one of 4 regions allegedly annexed by Moscow in a series of fake referendums in early autumn. However, Ukrainian forces launched a counterattack at the end of the summer, and after a long struggle, they recently regained control of the port city of Kherson, as we just mentioned. Russia withdrew its forces to the opposite bank of the Dnipro River, and the Ukrainian heroes reclaimed the city of Kherson and designated a new temporary capital for the region. Alexander Fomin, an officer in the Russian administration in the Kherson region, announced that the administrative capital was moved to Henichesk, which is closer to the Moscow-controlled Crimea. The Ukrainian government later announced the introduction of stabilization measures in the city of Kherson, where the vast majority of its civilian infrastructure was destroyed by 8 months of occupation. But it is believed that a group of Moscow troops remained in the city as Russian forces retreated from this area, which was widely viewed as an insult to the Kremlin. Some of the Russian forces are still stranded in Ukrainian-controlled Kherson. After the Moscow forces withdrew, reports emerged that Russian soldiers were disguised as civilians in Kherson. Stanislav Stokibov, head of regional defense city of Kherson, claimed that 15% of the withdrawn Russian troops did not reach the new defensive line which crossed the Dnipro. Stoichkov said that, "We must find them. We have no contact with the Russian troops on the other side of the river." Stanislav Stoichkov, who thinks that the Ukrainian forces will soon sweep the rest of Kherson region and that Russia will withdraw its positions further, said that, "We need the second half of Kherson and we will get it soon." Later, however, Stoichkov expressed that his concern Moscow might resort to massive bombing of Kherson, although he tried to explain that the Kiev forces were not panicking. Ukrainian soldiers reported finding Russian uniforms hidden in garbage bags all over the city, and the Kiev military believes some soldiers are behaving like Ukrainian civilians. Despite the retreat of Russian forces to the eastern bank of the Dnipro River, fighting still continues in Kherson and many other Ukrainian cities. The Russians seem to have already begun the retaliatory attacks of the Kherson defeat. On the front lines, Russian forces attacked Ukrainian positions. According to the Ukrainian General Staff, in the last 24 hours, the Russians carried out more than 40 MLRS attacks in Zaporizhia, Cherkasy, Kharkiv, and Donetsk. But these Russian counterattacks did not resonate as much as the Kherson victory achieved by the Ukrainian heroes. Now, let's examine in detail the secret of the success of the brave Kiev army in Kherson. We mentioned that Ukraine's success in driving Russian troops out of the key city of Kherson in southern Ukraine may be due in a large part to the US-supplied HIMARS weapons. Ukraine's Kakova task force has previously managed to destroy nearly all major Russian-controlled bridges in the southern Kherson region with HIMARS missiles. Ukraine also used these legendary missiles to destroy Russian supply and ammunition depots and command posts. We have seen that the HIMARS ammunition supply by the USA to Ukraine is not suitable for demolishing bridges due to the fact that the warheads are too small and not optimized for this type of attack, but Ukraine managed to overcome this situation. The Ukrainian armed forces developed a tactic to circumvent this limitation by performing multiple precision strikes on the way over the Antonovsky Bridge and the top of the Kakova Dam. Using this tactic without actually destroying the infrastructure of the bridges or seriously damaging the dam, the Ukrainian heroes achieved many effective victories. Experts explain that as the Russians tried to repair the bridges, Ukrainian troops continued to blow up bridges, targeting repair equipment and roads until the invading troops finally gave up. Russian forces also tried to build a pontoon bridge under the Antonovsky Bridge as a mitigation. However, the Ukrainian heroes thwarted this effort to the Russians with the help of HIMARS long-range missiles. The barges of the Russians carrying supplies, equipment, and reinforcements from the east to the west were also destroyed one by one with HIMARS by the Ukrainian army. This extraordinary victory of the heroes of Kiev was also praised from abroad. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said in his statement that Ukraine gained control of Kherson. The Ukrainians have achieved an extraordinary victory. In addition, emphasizing that Kherson is the only regional capital under the control of Russia, Sullivan said that the Russians made this withdrawal. It seems that the Ukrainians had won an extraordinary victory in the regional capital that Russia had captured in this war, where there is now a Ukrainian flag. That's pretty remarkable. Expressing that these developments have strategic implications, the U.S. National Security Advisor said that this victory has also wider strategic implications because pushing the Russians across the river means the long-term threat to places like Odessa and the Black Sea coastline is less than before. This is a big moment. It's certainly not the end of the road, but it's a big moment. This victory was achieved thanks to the incredible determination and skill of the Ukrainians, supported by the unity of the United States and our allies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the US government during his recent visit to Kherson and stated that HIMARS has made a big difference. Zelensky, who attended an official flag-raising ceremony, also spoke with Ukrainian soldiers and shared his happiness over the Kherson victory. Zelensky said that, "I'm very happy. It can be seen from the reaction of the people. Their reactions are not staged. Our citizens were waiting for the Ukrainian army, our soldiers, all of us." After Zelensky's visit, after thousands of people took to the streets, an important message came from the Ukrainian authorities. In the statement, the people of the region were warned to stay at home until the Russian troops left the city completely. On the other hand, the Russian Ministry of Defense has issued a new statement regarding the withdrawal. In the statement of the Russian Ministry of Defense, it was emphasized that as a result of effective management and coordinated actions, not a single military equipment and weapon remained on the right bank of the Dnipro River. In addition, it was announced by the Russian ministry that more than 30,000 Russian soldiers, around 5,000 weapons, military technical vehicles and other goods were moved from the Kherson direction to the left bank of the Dnipro River. Although the Russians' abandonment of Kherson seems to be a pleasing development for the Ukrainians, this withdrawal may also be a dirty trick of the Russians. as the Kyiv authorities have stated. We will see this together in the following processes. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications in order to be informed about new videos. Thank you for watching us.